Hi everybody. How are you guys? Um oh, my mic my knob was messed up again. I hope everybody's doing okay. It took me a second to make my tea because I could not find my honey, and then I realized that I forgot to buy some. I thought I had some left, but I did not. I forgot to buy it, but it's okay. I don't need it. I just really want it. I'm doing good. I'm glad that you're doing good. I've got a little bit of a sore throat right now. I'm waiting on my tea to cool down, but I figure it'll help. Mythical Mimi night. Yeah. It's opposite a good Mimi morning is Mimi mundane night. Hold on, let me quickly check something super duper fast on my phone. Yeah, I'm gonna read, guys, tonight because I like to read and wind down for bed lately. Like, that's been a ritual of mine. I know a lot of people do that, but I never was like really big on it. And I kind of started getting into it because, like, new year, new me, right? I do think that school is like it's like a good time to reset. Like, starting the school year, it's kind of like another fresh start. You did eat dinner? Go ahead. Yeah. But I've been trying to get into better habits like that. Trying to put my phone away as much, and I guess it's kind of counterproductive right now because I'm looking at like two screens. But it's okay. You're looking at a screen too, technically, right? Or you're listening. It's okay. I hope my mic sounds alright and everything. Like I said, I know most of you guys know this. I just moved back into my apartment. And so, yeah, you know how things are when you move and, like, I don't know, everything gets kind of a little fuzzy. You have to kind of tweak things a little bit. That being said, I'm not entirely sure how stable my Wi-Fi is while I'm back out here. It was fine last night, but I've only been out here for a night, so I'm not sure. But I hope it's gonna be okay. I think it's working pretty smooth. It is on my end, at least. Yeah. Anyways, I'm thinking, okay, I don't have any like background music that's like nightimey other than this one, and part of me is thinking the chat's not working. Oh yeah, I just noticed that. I know why. It's because I didn't turn my... Do you remember last time I said I had to download like StreamerBot and I forgot to turn it on? Well, I just did the same thing. I'll get it pulled up while I'm talking. Yeah. It's just like, I'm not used to having to open up an app to get my chat to work. But whatever. It'll be fine. Let's find it. Here it is. We find it. Here we go. It's loading up. I'm turning my throwables off real quick too, because first of all, I don't have the application up, and second of all, I don't want to... Not in the mood to bust my eardrums right now. Be honest with ya. Too late for that, right? Maybe a morning thing. Oh goodness. Okay, so while I'm thinking about it, I'm just talking while I'm setting things up. Right now, I only have one monitor, right? So when I have my like double monitor thing going on, I usually have it like spread across two monitors. And it's like it wouldn't let me grab my my screen, but I got it because it was used to me having a second monitor over there. Okay. Well, that's fixed. Sorry, I'm yapping like really unrelated stuff. It should be working soon. I don't know. Maybe let me refresh it. Where's it at? Here we go. Is there a refresh button? This should be on. I don't know why it's not. I think it did that last time too, though, right? Like it took it a minute. Or like, oh no, I had to log into my Twitch account again. It was really weird. No idea why it did that. Whatever. Yeah. Hopefully it loads up. I don't know why it wouldn't. Anyways, yeah, I have a couple of things picked out to read. Just a couple. Well, I got like 4 or so. They're kind of short. So I said I've been really into, and this is so random, like Gothic literature lately. I know that sounds so weird, but that's been my mood lately. I'm sorry. I'm trying to figure out why this is not working. Let me hit stop and then start and then stop and then start. Let me see. I don't know. Guys. I don't know. Huh. That's so weird. Okay. Anyway. I've been in a Gothic literature mood. And so I picked out some stuff that's kind of in that variety, if you will. I'm really frustrated at this thing for not working. At least my alerts are working. I have no idea. Hi, how are you? Hope you're having a good night so far, or morning, or day, whatever time it is. I feel like for most people, it's probably not night right now. Might be a weird minority over here. Oh, guys, look, it worked. It's working. Okay, it's down there. It's working. Okay. I'm kind of scared. TST. Okay, well, it's kind of night then. Yeah. I'm kind of scared to try my drink, my tea I got, because it's like I think it's melatonin tea. I don't remember what it's called. It has the theanine, some kind of herb like that. It has that in it, and it's like it's kind of stout. Every time it's nighttime, you don't look outside. I suppose. I had to wake up at 4 o'clock this morning to go to the airport, and so I was up from about 4 o'clock until maybe 7:30, I think. And then I realized at 7:30 how sleepy I was, and so I just took a nap, and then I slept from like 7:30 until 10. So in a way, I woke up really late today, but also I was catching up on sleep, right? You miss anything important? Nah, not really. Other than that my chat broke for a minute, but I got it fixed now. Okay, I'm gonna try this tea, guys. Okay, I'm scared. I don't have my honey. My honey makes it taste really good. I have lemons in the fridge I guess I could use. Taste it. It's not that bad. It's definitely better with honey though. I don't know. Guys, I'm sleepy time bear maxing right now because I've got my tea and I got my lights turned off really low Except for this lamp that's like blaring in my face. Hold on, let me turn. Okay, I turned it away from me. That's a lot better. I got my lights on kind of low, and I've got my what are these things called? I have it's like a essential oil diffuser. I've got lavender in it. Dehydrated honey in it, so it's already sweet. Ooh, fancy. I get the really cheap tea from the grocery store. What's the Bigelow brand? Yeah, I think that's what it is. Let me tell you exactly what kind of tea I'm drinking. I'm gonna look it up. I'm pretty sure it's got melatonin in it. Melatonin tea. Let me see. Oh, I'm a rabbit. Wait, why am I so tiny? Up here. I don't remember how long that lasts. I can't remember if it if it goes off after a while or not. I can't remember. Let me see. Melatonin tea. It's not the Sleepy Time Bear brand. It's got like L-theanine in it. Theanine? I don't know. Theanine? Okay, it's whisper. Blah, blah, blah. Oh. Guys, this is really random. Okay, I don't know if I've ever told you guys this. When I was younger, I had a problem with my speech, and I couldn't say W's, L's, and R's, and sometimes it still gets me. I get them like mixed up, like whenever it's like a tongue twister. But this is called Whispering Wildflowers Herbal Tea. That was really hard for me to say. Like I had to break that one down, guys. Oh, hold on. Sorry, I forgot I hadn't taken my glasses off yet. They're kind of getting in my way. Yeah, it's got L-theanine in it. It's caffeine free, and I guess it's got wildflowers in it. I don't know. I don't know how that works, but it's pretty good. It tastes pretty good. This sounds adorable. Oh my gosh, no. Do you know like baby wipes, like the little baby wipes? Oh my gosh, hi. Sorry, I just looked at the chat. I just saw who it was. Hello, it's been a hot minute. I hope you're doing good. I hope you're well. It's been a long time. It has. I hope you're doing really good. Oh, but what I was gonna say is it was really hard for me to say wet wipes when I was a kid. Like if I was in the car and I don't know, I was eating like candy or something, I don't know. And I got something sticky on my hand. I'd say, Mommy, I need a wet wipe. I need a wet wipe. But I'd say red ripe, like with R's instead of W's. And sometimes it's W's, L's, and R's. The other day, I tried to say umbrella and I said umbrella. It's not on purpose. It's just I struggle with it sometimes. It's not all the time either. I think a problem I have is I talk too fast. I think I talk too fast sometimes. Back to normal. I don't know why I move so much. Like my body scales like a lot when I do that. Let me do this while I'm thinking about it. Bunoi. I just saw that. Let's see. Oh my gosh, guys. It's gonna take me a minute. Hello. How are you? It's gonna take me a minute to get used to only having one monitor again, okay? I was spoiled when I was living with my parents. So it's gonna take me a minute. Jump scare. It's gonna take me just a minute. Okay, let me get a little sip of tea again and convince myself that it's not so bad. Hold on. It's not so bad, I say with a pained smile. I might go get some lemon put in there. I think that might make it a little bit better. It's not that it's nasty. It's not gross. It's not a gross tea at all. It's just got like had a weird taste, and it would be really enhanced by honey if I had some. We got the peanut butter in our chat right now. Oh my gosh, I feel so honored. I'm so honored. I love peanut butter. Okay, I get in moods where like I really like peanut butter and I like crave peanut butter like crazy. And then I'll be in that mood for like a week straight. And then after that, I don't want peanut butter for like 2 months. Does that make sense? I'm the same way with like eggs or something. Like, there's some things it's just like... they're really, really good for like a week straight. And then I guess you get bored on them is what it does. I don't know. There is a moment in time actually though where I was getting like everything I was eating made me really sick except for crunchy peanut butter for some reason. So I was just eating it by like the spoonful. The peanut one. Okay. I'm gonna do a little stretch real quick. Hold on. Sorry, you could tell I was like rolling my neck. I was rolling my neck trying to stretch it out. Hold on. Some water now. Hydration time is for water. You don't like peanut butter? Common symptom in neurodivergent people. Is OCD? I don't think OCD counts. Does OCD count? That's what I have. Guys, contrary to popular belief, I'm not autistic. I don't know, I've never been tested. I did have a friend ask me if I was autistic though. Because she cut me off when I was talking about something. I was like, what was I talking about? What was it? This was like 3 years ago. I'm really struggling to remember. I was like explaining it in like great detail though, and she looks at me and she goes, "Are you autistic?" And I go, "No." You're not? What do you mean? You like peanut butter and would you be a cannibal? Oh. Yeah, maybe it's good to not like peanut butter then. I've been tested, but I'm pretty sure something ain't right, yeah. Yeah, I got that feeling, but most of mine did turn out to be my OCD symptoms. But the way I was behaving, because of my OCD, I guess made other people think, I don't know, maybe I was like stimming or something. I don't know. I'm not sure. But I did have a lot of there was like something weird going on when I was younger. I had to wear all my socks inside out was one of my big things because I didn't like the seams. And it was an OCD thing, but like, I know that can be in children. I don't know, sensory things I know are also a common trait in autistic people. But for me, I think it was just OCD. I had really intense OCD as a kid. It was bad. I didn't get diagnosed until I was 20? 19 or 20. You can stay up for days as I made my peanut butter stale. I like how there's like some intellectual conversation about peanut butter going on. I can't even wrap my head around it. I'm too jelly for this. Opposite of peanut butter. Opposite of peanut butter. It's an important life question. I know, I'm not ready for these grown-up conversations yet, guys. I'm still young. Oh my gosh, this is really bad. This is gonna sound really bad, guys. It's gonna make me sound like I'm 5 years old. I don't know like anything about anything. And like sometimes when I go to the doctor and they're like, what kind of insurance do you have? I know what like company I have, but they're like, and this insurance and that insurance and what's your deductible and this and that, and I'm like, let me call my mom. I just look at them like that because I don't know anything about anything and I'm not ready to be an adult yet. But to be fair, like nobody like looks you in the eye and goes, hey, this is what this is. This is what you need to know about this. Like nobody does that. Mother will always know, yeah. Mom, what am I allergic to again? He doesn't even know. Oh, did I tell you? I know I told some of you guys this, but I finally figured out what was wrong with me. When I was having my like spell, I don't know if you guys remember this. It happened to me once really bad last year, and it lasted about 5 or 6 months. And this year it lasted maybe like a month. Sorry, let me throw this tea bag away super duper quick. I'm gonna like throw it across my room into the trash can. I'm a baller. Oh, I made it. Anyway, and I turned out I had mast cell activation syndrome, and it was making me allergic to gluten off and on. But now I don't have that problem anymore because I take Pepsid, and it's literally fine, guys. It's awesome. Like I take it's basically like stomach allergy medicine. It's anti-acid, but it's got like antihistamines in it or something, and it helps like so much. Yeah, I didn't know anything already. I don't know who my favorite My Little Pony character is. Yeah, I don't either, actually. Hold on. I think I've always said Applejack. Between Applejack and Pinkie Pie, I'll tell you why. I have like an emotional connection to Applejack, but my nostalgia rests in Pinkie Pie. And, Cheerilee. And like, Scootaloo. Oh my gosh. When I was a kid, Scootaloo was my hands down. I know that. And I had a pillow that my grandma, she sewed this for me. Maybe I mentioned this. My grandma sewed me a pillow, and she got it out of this fabric, and it was My Little Pony fabric. On one side it had Pinkie Pie, and on the other, I think the girl's name is Star something, and she was like a Pegasus, and she was white and blue and pink. Like her body was white, but her hair was like white, blue, and pink. She's really pretty. You adapted, yeah. Let me drink some more tea super quick. This tea smells very good. Very good. Okay, let me read to you guys now. Hold on. Oh, he was gonna say hope it works. Okay. I'm gonna turn the music down just a little bit, but I'm gonna keep it on just so there's a little bit of background noise. Is that alright with everybody? Let me know if it's not. I can adapt. We're getting a bedtime story? Yeah, you're getting a couple of them. I guess. Alright, I have to find my tab. I'm sorry. It's like I said, I gotta get used to this monitor, guys. Okay. This is from the works of Edgar Allan Poe, and this is The Fall of the House of Usher. And give me... Sorry. I'm gonna read it, I promise. I need to open up to where I can see my YouTube chat because you can't see it right now. I don't want to miss anything. I don't think anybody's even over there. It's okay. Take your time, yeah. Take my 30 seconds. It's the most horrific story ever and you get nightmares? No, it's a little bit... It's not creepy, it's maybe unsettling is the word? I'm not sure. Tucked in already, I don't want nightmares. It's not nightmare material, I promise. Okay, can you see my mouse and everything? Yes. Okay. During the whole of a dull dark and soundless day in the autumn of the year, when the clouds hung oppressively low in the heavens, I'd been passing alone on horseback through a singularly dreary tract of country. Okay, guys, don't make fun of me if I slur my words together and I sound like I'm saying made up words. I told you guys I have a speech problem. You have to be nice, guys. You have to be nice to me just this once, okay? Continuing. And at length, I found myself, as the shades of the evening drew on, within the view of the melancholy house of Usher. I know not how it was, but with the first glimpse of the building, a sense of insufferable gloom pervaded my spirit. I say insufferable, for the feeling was unrelieved by any of that half pleasurable, because poetic sentiment with which the mind usually receives even the sternest natural images of the desolate or terrible. I looked upon the scene before me, upon the mere house and the simple landscape features of the domain, upon the bleak walls, upon the vacant eye-like windows, upon a few rank sedges, and upon a few white trunks of decayed trees, with an utter depression of soul which I can compare to no earthly sensation more properly than to the after-dream of the reveller upon opium, the bitter lapse into everyday life, the hideous dropping of the veil. I don't know if you saw that. There was an iciness, a sinking, a sickening of the heart, an unredeemed dreariness of thought which no goading of the imagination could torture into aught of the sublime. What was it? I paused to think. What was it that so unnerved me in the contemplation of the house of Usher? It was a mystery all insoluble, nor could I grapple with the shadowy fancies that crowded upon me as I pondered. I was forced to fall back upon the unsatisfactory conclusion that while, beyond doubt, there are combinations of very simple natural objects which have the power of thus affecting us, still, the analysis of this power lies among considerations beyond our depth. It was possible, I reflected, that a mere different arrangement of the particulars of the scene, of the details of the picture, would be sufficient to modify, or perhaps to annihilate its capacity for sorrowing impression. And acting upon this idea, I reined my horse to the precipitous brink of a black and lurid tarn that lay in unruffled lustre by the dwelling, and gazed down, but with a shudder even more thrilling than before, upon the remodeled and inverted images of the grey sedge and the ghastly tree stems, and the vacant and eye-like windows. Side note, when we read this in English class, it was really funny because it's like the house was like reminding me of Monster House from that movie. You guys know what I'm talking about? It reminded me of the way he describes it. I'm gonna get some tea. I'm gonna get some tea in between each paragraph, I think. Nevertheless, in this mansion of gloom, I now propose to myself a sojourn of some weeks. Its proprietor, Roderick Usher, had been one of my boon companions in boyhood, but many years had elapsed since our last meeting. A letter, however, had lately reached me in a distant part of the country. A letter from him, which, in its wildly importunate nature, had admitted of no other than a personal reply. The MS gave evidence of nervous agitation. The writer spoke of acute bodily illness, of a mental disorder which oppressed him, and of an earnest desire to see me as his best, and indeed his only, personal friend, with a view of attempting, by the cheerfulness of my society, some alleviation of his malady. It was the manner in which all of this and much more was said. It was the apparent heart that went with this request, which allowed me no room for hesitation, and I accordingly obeyed forthwith what I still considered a very singular summons. Although, as boys, we had been even intimate associates, yet I really knew little of my friend. His reserve had always been excessive and habitual. I was aware, however, that his very ancient family had been noted, time out of mind, for a peculiar sensibility of temperament, displaying itself through long ages in many works of exalted art and manifested of late in repeated deeds of munificent yet unobtrusive charity, as well as in a passionate devotion to the intricacies, perhaps even more than to the orthodox, and easily recognizable beauties of musical science. That's a long sentence, guys. It's a long, wordy sentence to say that these people are crazy. Let me get some tea. And if the commentary gets annoying, tell me. I like to... So when I read books that have like really long wordy things, I like to stop every couple sentences and be like, okay, well this is what it's saying. Because nobody reads like this and just thinks, oh yeah. They must be really crazy. Then they are. You'll see. You will see, my friend. This one's not very long, I don't think either. Let me see. It's not super long. Okay, where was I? I had learned, too, the very remarkable fact that the stem of the usher race, all-time honored as it was, had put forth at no period, trifling and very temporary variation, so lane. It was this deficiency, I considered, while running over in thought of the perfect keeping of the character of the premises with the accredited character of the people, and while speculating upon the possible influence which the one, in the long lapse of centuries, might have exercised upon the other. Well, that was really wordy, guys. Hello, hello. It was this deficiency, perhaps, of collateral issue, and the consequent undeviating transmission from sire to son of the patrimony with the name, which had, at length, so identified the two as to merge the original title of the estate in the quaint and equivocal appellation of the House of Usher, an appellation which seemed to include, in the minds of the peasantry who used it, both the family and the family mansion. Hey, I don't know, guys, I read this? I think I read this in, like, 10th grade? And my teacher explained all this stuff back then, right? But I don't remember much. But I think what it's saying is there's something happening between the father and the son, I know. But what? I don't know. And doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Get some tea, hold on. This is where we're at. I have said that the sole effect of my somewhat childish experiment of looking down within the tarn have been to deepen the first singular impression. There can be no doubt that the consciousness of the rapid increase in my superstition, for why would I not so term it? Hello, thank you. Welcome in. Come in. We're reading The Fall of the House of Usher at the moment, and then we're gonna hop into some other stuff. Oh my goodness! Wait, was that 600? 500 or 600? 500, right? 500? Yeah! Sorry, it looked like a 6 on my screen. I was like, oh wow, I didn't know it was that far. Thank you so much, it's crazy. Okay, I guess a 24-hour Minecraft stream. Not today, not tonight. Tonight is about relaxing. Trying to. Thank you so much. Alright, where was I? Where was I? Serve mainly to accelerate the increase itself. Such, I have long known, is the paradoxical law of all sentiments having terror as a basis. And it might have been for this reason only that when I again uplifted my eyes to the house itself, from its image in the pool, there grew in my mind a strange fancy. A fancy so ridiculous indeed that I but mention it to show the vivid force of the sensations which oppressed me. Okay, so it's really scary. I had so worked upon my imagination as really to believe that about the whole mansion and domain there hung an atmosphere peculiar to themselves and their immediate vicinity. Atmosphere which had no affinity with the air of heaven, but which had reeked upon from the decayed trees and the grey wall and the silent tarn a pestilent and mystic vapor, dull, sluggish, faintly discernible, and leaden-hued. Tea time. Okay, so this house it's really creepy, it's old, it's like decrepit. Really ghastly and grey. So it's Monster House, guys. It's Monster House. Big word, yeah. Shaking off. Wait, hold on. Let me before I start. Let me tell you. I may be just stupid, and I know I'm not stupid because I have good grades. I may be like kind of dumb, but like when I read books, I get a lot better. My vocabulary does grow, guys, and I'm not dumb. Reading Lovecraft? It's Edgar Allan Poe. This is The Fall of the House of Usher. I do have some of that on my list. I'm using the Gutenberg archives. There's a lot of everything on there. Yeah, let me get some stretching in and everything. Alright. Here we are. Right here. If the highlighting gets annoying, let me know. It just helps me read. Shaking off from my spirit what must have been a dream, I scanned more narrowly the real aspect of the building. Its principal feature seemed to be that of an excessive antiquity. Its discoloration of ages had been great. Minute fungi overspread the whole exterior, hanging in a fine tangled webwork from the eaves. Yet all of this was apart from any extraordinary dilapidation. Guys, big words. Dilapidation. No portion of the masonry had fallen, and there appeared to be a wild inconsistency between its perfect adaptation of parts and the crumbling condition of the individual stones. Okay, guys, my speech impediment's coming back. In this, there was much that reminded me of the spacious totality of old woodwork which has rotted for long years in some neglected vault, with no disturbance from the breath of external air. Beyond this indication of extensive decay, however, the fabric gave little token of instability. Perhaps the eye of the scrutinizing observer might have discovered a barely perceptible fissure, which, extending from the roof of the building in the front, made its way down the wall in a zigzag direction until it became lost in the sullen waters of the tarn. May your calcium be plenty and your sad days be few. Thank you. I need to start taking my calcium supplements, you're right, because I can't drink milk. Let me get my tea real quick. Yeah, go ahead. I'm drinking, what did I say it was called? Whispering Wildflowers. Thank you. May my milk be lactose free. Noticing these things, I rode over a short causeway to the house. A servant in waiting took my horse, and I entered the Gothic archway of the hall. A valet of stealthy step thence conducted me in silence through many dark and intricate passages in my progress to the studio of his master. Much that I had encountered on the way contributed, I know not how, to heighten the vague sentiment of which I have already spoken. While the objects around me, while the carvings of the ceilings, the sombre tapestries of the wall, the ebon blackness of the floors, the phantasmagoric armorial trophies which rattled as I strode, were but matters to which, or to such as which, I had been accustomed from my infancy. While I hesitated not to acknowledge how familiar this all was, I still wondered to find how unfamiliar were the fancies which ordinary images were stirring up. On one of the staircases, I met the physician of the family. His countenance, I thought, wore a mingled expression of low cunning and perplexity. He accosted me with trepidation and passed on. The valet now threw open a door and ushered me into the presence of his master. Okay, we're about to meet Mr. Usher, guys. What am I reading? I'm reading The Fall of the House of Usher by Edgar Allan Poe. Let me get some tea really quick. Taking a little breaks between each paragraph. Hello, hello. I'm not sure why it censored that. That's weird. But hello, hello, hello. Ugh. Oh, I forgot I had that as a thing. Yeah, that's what we're about to. It's about to make that noise when we walk in to meet. What was his name? Henry? I cannot remember. Let me scroll up real quick. Roderick. I don't know where I got Henry from. I'm sorry. Yeah, that was Cyclone. Oh wait, my text-to-speech might be up really loud. I'm sorry. Wait, let me turn that down. I'm so sorry. I'm shivering. Was it really loud, guys? Yeah, I had it up really loud. I had it up really loud because sometimes I can't hear it. Alright, it's turned back down. Yeah. Cyclone just terrified everybody. Okay. Hey, guys. The room in which I found myself was very large and lofty. The windows were long, narrow, and pointed, and at so vast a distance from the black oaken floor as to be altogether inaccessible from within. Feeble gleams of encrimsoned light. Okay, so it's like red. It's like red stained glass, and they look like eyes, and you can't even get to them from the inside. Oh, that sounds creepy, right? Right, guys? Made their way through the trellised panes and served to render sufficiently distinct the more prominent objects around. The eye, however, struggled in vain to reach the remoter angles of the chamber, or the recesses of the vaulted and fretted ceiling. Dark draperies hung upon the walls. The general furniture was profuse, comfortless, antique, and tattered. Many books and musical instruments lay scattered about, but failed to give any vitality to the scene. I felt that I breathed an atmosphere of sorrow. An air of stern, deep, and irredeemable gloom hung over and pervaded all. Ugh. First person perspective is always an interesting read. Yeah, it's even worse when I can't talk. Seem cute, thank you. Yeah. I was just mentioning this a minute ago. I have a thing where I get my W's, L's, and R's mixed up sometimes. I have to really slow down on some words. If I don't, I sound like I'm doing that baby talk thing. Okay. Right, we're about to seriously meet him because I see his name. Upon my entrance, Usher arose from a sofa on which he had been lying at full length and greeted me with a vivacious warmth which had much in it. I at first thought of an overdone cordiality, the constrained effort of the ennui. Is that like E-N-N-U-I? Like, is that like the French spelling of it, maybe? Like bored? Like the word for bored? Curious, I'll look that up later. Man of the world. A glance, however, at his countenance convinced me of his perfect sincerity. We sat down, and for some moments, while he spoke not, I gazed upon him with a feeling half of pity, half of awe. Surely, a man had never before so terribly altered in so brief a period as had Roderick Usher. It was with difficulty that I could bring myself to admit the identity of the wan being before me with the companion of my early boyhood. Yet the character of his face had been at all times remarkable. A cadaverousness of complexion, an eye large, liquid, and luminous beyond comparison. Lips somewhat thin and very pallid, but of surpassingly beautiful curve. Okay. Okay, so he's got thin but really pretty lips. I'm glad we're noting that. It seems very, very important. Thank you, Poe. The nose of a delicate Hebrew model, but with the breadth of nostril unusual in similar formations. A finely molded chin, speaking in its want of prominence, of a want of moral energy. Hair of a more than web-like softness and tenuity. These features, with an inordinate expansion upon the regions of the temple, made up altogether a countenance not easily to be forgotten. And now, in the mere exaggeration of the prevailing character of these features, and of the expression they were wont to convey, lay so much of change that I doubted to whom I spoke. The now ghastly pallor of the skin, and the now miraculous luster of the eye, above all things, startled and even awed me. Silken hair, too, had been suffered to grow, all unheeded, and as, in its wild gossamer texture, it floated rather than fell about the face. I could not, even with effort, connect its arabesque expression with any idea of simple humanity. Okay, so his hair's floating around like a ghost. It's interesting, right? Most important detail? Yeah. Let me get some more tea. It's getting a little bit chilly. Ooh. Yeah, okay, so Mr. Usher is he's looking a little not so great. Not so great. So many big boy words, yeah, I know. Get a blanket? Oh no, it's my tea that's getting cold, but yeah, I'll give my tea a blanket. I'm actually a little bit warm right now. I'm wearing a oversized sweater and like jogging pants. I'm kind of overdoing it. All right, let's go right here. In the manner of my friend, I was at once struck with an incoherence and inconsistency, and I soon found this to arise from a series of feeble and futile struggles to overcome an habitual. Is that right? It's not right. I mean, maybe it was back then. Maybe he's pronounced it habitual. Trepidancy and excessive nervous agitation. For something of this nature I had indeed been prepared, no less by his letter than by his reminiscences of certain boyish traits, and by conclusions deduced from his peculiar physical conformation and temperament. His action was alternately vivacious and sullen. His voice varied rapidly from a tremulous indecision when the animal spirits seemed utterly in abeyance. Don't know what that means, guys. This is big words. This is big girl language. To that species of energetic concision, that abrupt, weighty, unhurried, and hollow-sounding enunciation, that leaden, self-balanced, and perfectly modulated guttural utterance, which may be observed in the lost drunkard or in the irreclaimable eater of opium during the periods of his most intense excitement. Okay, I think it's what it's saying, as he was trying to talk and it was making like animal sounds. Like he didn't sound like himself. Yeah, his voice varied rapidly, yeah. Okay, so he's like talking and it's coming out wrong. It doesn't sound like him. Okay. It was thus that he spoke of the object of my visit, of his earnest desire to see me, and of the solace he expected me to afford him. He entered at some length into what he conceived to be the nature of his malady. What happened? Guys, my entire screen just went black like 2 times. Why did it do that? Why did it just like, it looked like somebody turned my monitor off and then it went back on and it looked like somebody turned it off again. That was really weird. Okay. I don't know what that was about. I'm hoping nothing else flickered. Edgar must be listening. Yeah, Mr. Poe. He's mad that I can't. I've been mispronouncing some words. Get some more tea. Maybe my HDMI cable's loose or something. Okay. Okay, so he's talking about what's bothering him. It was, he said, a constitutional and a family evil, and one for which he despaired to find a remedy. A mere nervous affection, he immediately added, which would undoubtedly soon pass off. It displayed itself in a host of unnatural sensations. Some of these, as he detailed them, interested and bewildered me, although perhaps the terms and the general manager of the narration had their weight. He suffered much from a morbid acuteness of the senses. The most insipid food was alone endurable. He could wear only garments of certain texture. Odors of all flowers were oppressive. His eyes were tortured by even a faint light, and there were but peculiar sounds, and these from stringed instruments, which did not inspire him with horror. To an anomalous species of terror, I found him a bounden slave. I shall perish, said he. I must perish in this deplorable folly. Thus, and not otherwise, shall I be lost. I dread the events of the future, not in themselves, but in their results. I shudder at the thought of any, even the most trivial incident, which may operate upon this intolerable aggression of the soul. I have indeed no abhorrence of danger, except in its absolute effect, in terror. In this unnerved, in this pitiable condition, I feel that the period will sooner or later arrive when I must abandon life and reason together in some struggle with the grim phantasm, fear. I learned, moreover, at intervals, and though broken and equivocal hints, another singular feature of his mental condition. He was enchained by a certain superstitious impressions in regard to the dwelling which he tenanted, and whence, for many years, he had never ventured forth. In regard to an influence whose supstitious force was conveyed in terms too shadowy here to be restated, an influence which some peculiarities in the mere form and substance of his family mansion had, by dint of long sufferance, he said, obtained over his spirit. An effect which the physique of the grey walls and turrets, and of the dim tarn into which they all looked down, had at length brought about upon the moral of his existence. Okay, so he has some supernatural fear going on, it sounds like. And the house is creeping him out. It says it's like a family fear, so he's inherited some kind of fear or something, it sounds like. Yeah, let's hope Poe doesn't crash my computer while I'm drinking my tea. Hold on. Alright. He admitted, however, although with hesitation, that much of the peculiar gloom which thus affected him could be traced to a more natural and far more palpable origin, to the severe and long-continued illness, indeed, to the evidently approaching dissolution of a tenderly beloved sister, his sole companion for long years, his last and only relative on earth. Her decease, he said, with a bitterness which I can never forget, would leave him, the hopeless and frail, the last of the ancient race of the Ushers. While he spoke, the Lady Madeline, for so she was called, passed slowly through a remote portion of the apartment, and without having noticed my presence, disappeared. I regarded her with an utter astonishment not unmingled with dread, and yet I found it impossible to account for such feelings. A sensation of stupor oppressed me, as my eyes followed her retreating steps. When a door at length closed upon her, my glance sought instinctively and eagerly the countenance of the brother, but he had buried his face in his hands, and I could only perceive that a far more ordinary wanness had overspread the emaciated fingers through which trickled many passionate tears. Okay. So his sister died, and he's really really upset about it. And it sounds like Lady Madeline was the sister, and it said that she appeared in the apartment. She slowly passed, so maybe I cannot remember, guys. I have not read this book since 7th grade. He thinks she's dead, but maybe she's not. And he, Mr. Narrator tried to look for her, couldn't find her. Who wouldn't be upset? Yeah, but maybe she's alive, because it says, my eyes followed her retreating steps. I don't know. The disease of the Lady Madeline had long baffled the skill of her physicians. A settled apathy, a gradual wasting away of the person, and frequent, although transient affections of partially cataleptical character were the unusual diagnosis. Hitherto, she had steadily borne up against the pressure of her malady and had not betaken herself finally to bed, but on the closing of the evening of my arrival at the house, she succumbed, as her brother told me at night with inexpressible agitation, to the prostrating power of the destroyer, and I learnt that the glimpse I had obtained of her person would thus probably be the last I should obtain, that the lady, at least while living, would be seen by me no more. Okay, so she was alive at the moment and now passed away that night. For several days ensuing, her name was unmentioned by either Usher or myself. During this period, I was busied in earnest endeavors to alleviate melancholy of my friend. We painted and read together, or I listened, as if in a dream, to the wild improvisations of his speaking guitar. And thus, as a closer and still closer intimacy admitted me more unreservedly into the recesses of the spirit, the more bitterly did I perceive the futility of all attempt at cheering a mind from which darkness, as if an inherent positive quality, poured forth upon all objects of the moral and physical universe in one unceasing radiation of gloom. So he can't cheer him up. There's no way to cheer him up, he thinks. I shall ever bear about me a memory of the many solemn hours I thus spent alone with the master of the House of Usher. Yet I should fail in my any attempt to convey an idea of the exact character of the studies or of the occupations in which he involved me or led me the way. An excited and highly distempered ideality threw a sulphurous luster over all. Wow. Sulphurous. Yes, sulphurous luster overall. Sorry. His long improvised dirges will ring forever in my ears. Among other things, I hold painfully in mind a certain singular... Oh my gosh, is an ad about to come on? When an ad comes on, I'll take a break. I just got a notification that one might pop up in a minute, but rest assured, we will take a little break, should one pop up. An amplification of the wild air, The Last Waltz of von Weber. From the paintings over which his elaborate fancy brooded, and which grew, touch by touch, in a vagueness at which I shuddered the more thrillingly, because I shuddered knowing not why. From these paintings, vivid as their images now are before me, I would in vain endeavor to adduce more than a small portion which should lie within the compass of merely written words. By the utter simplicity, by the nakedness of his designs, he arrested and overawed attention. Okay, we'll take a little break. A little break right here. Sorry, I didn't see that. Okay. Alright, so let's while we're taking a little break, maybe let's run down what we got going on. So Mr. Narrator, at the very beginning, he walks up to the House of Usher and he's like, wow, this place is creepy. The windows look like eyes, and the trees are like barren, and everything's dead, and like there's this like what does he call it? There's like what did he call it? Tarn. A tarn is like a moat. Am I right? That's what it sounds like. Let me look that up super quick. Let me verify. A small mountain, lake, or pool. Okay, so it's like it's a body of water. Okay, so and he mentions the body of water several times. And he's really creeped out by it. And there's also mushrooms everywhere for some reason. Which seems kind of random to me, right? But who am I? Who am I to judge? I do appreciate he's very detailed. I like when they do that. I know I'm lagging just slightly. I'm not sure why. It's kind of weird. Symbolism and foreshadowing. Yeah, I cannot remember. I cannot remember. I know how it ends. Can't remember anything else about it. I remember a little bit here and there. But I read this so long ago. That's why I'm reading it again. Where are you from? The States. I'm from the US. Yeah. Sorry, I had a train of thought and I lost it. Are the ads over now? Let's see. Those are sent. 28. I think they lack about 1 more minute, maybe. I'll start in about a minute. I'll start when the clock hits. Clock hits 10:31 for me. Yeah. I really love this kind of literature, gothic literature. It's really entertaining. I don't know. Really crazy. It's kind of creepy, but not in like a scary way. You know what I mean? Alright, I think ads should be over any second now, so I'm gonna resume. If ever mortal painted an idea, that mortal was Roderick Usher. For me, at least, in the circumstances then surrounding me, there arose out of the pure abstractions which the hypochondriac contrived to throw upon his canvas an intensity of intolerable awe, no shadow of which I felt ever yet in the contemplation of the certainly growing yet too concrete reveries of Fuseli. Okay, so Mr. Usher made a creepy painting, it sounds like. And it's really emotional, I guess. Like, really, like, it's got a lot of creepy emotion in it. Get EP and comfortable, good. But I am as well. One of the phantasmagoric conceptions of my friend, or taking not so rigidly of the spirit of abstraction, may be shadowed forth, and although feebly in words. A small picture presented the interior of an immensely long and rectangular vault or tunnel. Okay, so I think he's describing the painting. So, with low walls, smooth, white, and without interruption or device. Certain accessory points of the design served well to convey the idea that this excavation lay at an exceeding depth below the surface of the earth. No outlet was observed in any portion of its vast extent, and no torch or other artificial source of light was discernible. Yet a flood of intense rays rolled throughout, and bathed the whole in a ghastly and inappropriate splendor. Okay, so he painted like a long, like really long white tunnel, and it has to be underground, but there's light all in it. So I'm thinking maybe like a coffin of some sort. I have just spoken of that morbid condition of the auditory nerve which rendered all music intolerable to the sufferer, with the exception of certain effects of stringed instruments. It was perhaps the narrow limits to which he thus confined himself upon the guitar, which gave birth in great measure to the fantastic character of his performances. But the fervid facility it's in italics, it's hard to read. Facility of his impromptus could not be so accounted for. They must have been and were in the notes, as well in the words of his wild fantasias, for he not unfrequently accompanied himself with the brilliant verbal improvisations. The result of that intense mental collectedness and concentration to which I have previously alluded as observable only in particular moments of the highest artificial excitement, The words of one of these rhapsodies I have easily remembered. I was perhaps the more forcibly impressed with it, as he gave it, because in the under or mystic current of its meaning, I fancied that I perceived, and for the first time, a full consciousness of the part of Usher, of the tottering of his lofty reason upon her throne. The verses, which were entitled "The Haunted Palace," ran very nearly, if not accurately, thus. So, this is Mr. Usher's song that I think it says he wrote about his sister. I think that's what it meant. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna read his song. In the greenest of our valleys, by good angels tenanted, once a fair and stately palace, radiant palace, reared its head. In the monarch thought's dominion, it stood there. Never seraph spread opinion over fabric half so fair. Banners yellow, glorious golden, on its roof did float and flow. All this was in the olden time long ago. And every gentle air that dallied in that sweet day, along the ramparts plummeted pallid, a winged odor went away. Wanderers in that happy valley, through two luminous windows saw spirits moving musically to a lute's well-tuned law. Round about a throne were sitting Porphyrogen, in state his glory well befitting, the ruler of the realm was seen. And all with pearl and ruby glowing was the fair palace door, through which came flowing, 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 and sparkling evermore a troop of echoes whose sweet duty was but to sing in voices of surpassing beauty to wit and wisdom of their king. But evil things in robes of sorrow assailed the monarch's high estate. Ah, let us mourn, for never morrow shall dawn upon him desolate. And round about his home the glory that blushed and bloomed is but a dim remembered story of the old time entombed. And travelers now within that valley through the red litten windows see vast forms that move fantastically to a discordant melody. White like a rapid ghastly river through the pale door, a hideous throng rush out forever and laugh but smile no more. I well remember that suggestions arising from this ballad led us into a train of thought wherein there have become manifest an opinion of Usher's, which I mention not so much on account of its novelty for other men. I don't know what the asterisk does. Where's that at? Right, it's way down there. Oh, okay. Okay, so it's talking about See Chemical Essays Volume 5. I think I'm good, Mr. Poe. I've thought thus, as on account of the pertinency with which he maintained it. Alright, I don't know what that means. This opinion in its general form was that of the sentience of all vegetable things. But in his disordered fancy, the idea had assumed a more daring character and trespassed, under certain conditions, upon the kingdom of inorganization. I lack words to express the full extent or the earnest abandon of this persuasion. The belief, however, was connected, as I have previously hinted, with the grey stones of the home of his forefathers. The conditions of the sentience had been here, he imagined, filled in the method of collocation of these stones, in the order of their arrangement, as well as that of the many fungi which overspread them, and of the decayed trees which stood around, above all, in the long undisturbed endurance of this arrangement, and in its reduplication in the still waters of the tarn. It's the tarn again. And its evidence, the evidence of the sentience, was to be seen, he said, and here I started as he spoke, in the gradual yet certain condensation of an atmosphere of their own about the water in the walls. Okay, so Mr. Usher feels the presence of like other sentient beings that aren't alive, I think is what he's saying. It's like ghosts. There's like ghosts and spirits, he thinks. about the house itself. Maybe like, connected to his family. I think that's what it's saying. The result was discoverable, he added, in that silent yet importunate and terrible influence which for centuries had molded the destinies of his family, and which made him what I now saw him, what he was. Such opinions need no comment, and I will make none. Alright, so it's kind of his family destiny for him to turn out as maybe in the state he's in. Our books, the books which for years had formed no small portion of the mental existence of the invalid, were, as it might be supposed, in strict keeping with this character of phantasm. We pored together over such works as the French, Vervet et Chartreuse of Grisset, the Belfort of Machiavelli, the Heaven and Hell of Swedenborg, and the Subterranean Voyage of Nicholas Clem by Holberg, the Chiromancy of Robert Flood, of Jean de Indagine, and of De la Chambre. I'm probably butchering this, guys. It's not even funny. Reading bedtime stories, yeah. You can listen to me butcher this French stuff. The Journey into the Blue Distance of Tyack, and the City of the Sun of Campanella. One favorite volume was a small octavo edition of the Directorium Inquisitorium by the Dominican Aymeric de Giorn. There were passages in Pomponius Mela about the old African satyrs and Oegyptians, over which Usher would sit dreaming for hours. Okay, so he really likes his books. It was really spot on. Oh my gosh. Guys, I'm happy. Oh my gosh. Ah! Sorry. Oh, okay, clip that. No, I'm kidding. I pronounced something right. Sorry. Just happy about that. His chief delight, however, was found in the perusal of an exceedingly rare and curious book in Quarto Gothic, the Manual of a Forgotten Church, the Vigiliae Mortuorium Secand. I got this. Let me cook. The Vigiliae Mortuorium Secundum Coram Ecclesiae Magntinue. That's Latin, guys. I only speak English and like 2% of Italian, okay? Is that Latin? I think that's Latin. Okay. I could not help thinking of the wild ritual of this work and of its probable influence upon the hypochondriac when okay, so he's a hypochondriac. Hey, so am I. I'm just like him. I'm just like Mr. Usher. When one evening, having informed me abruptly that the Lady Madeline was no more, he stated his intention of preserving her corpse for a fortnight, previously to its final interment, in one of the numerous vaults within the main walls of the building. Fortnight is 2 weeks, right? Believe so. Could be wrong. The worldly reason, however, assigned for this singular proceeding was one which I did not feel at liberty to dispute. The brother had been led to his resolution, so he told me, by consideration of the unusual character of the malady of the deceased, of certain obtrusive and eager inquiries on the part of her medical men, and of the remote and exposed situation of the burial ground of the family. I will not deny that when I called to mind the sinister countenance of the person whom I met on the staircase on the day of my arrival at the house, I had no desire to oppose what I regarded at best but a harmless and by no means unnatural precaution. Okay, so Mr. Usher wants to preserve her body for, I think it says 2 weeks, in a vault within the walls. Yeah, 2 weeks, okay. So he wants to keep his dead sister in a vault within the walls. And because of the nature of her death, our narrator is like, yeah, it makes sense. Okay, got it. Great. Let me get a little sip of water. Okay. Alright. At the request of Husher, I personally aided him in the arrangements for the temporary entombment. The body having been encoffined, we two alone bore it to its rest. The vault in which we placed it, and which had been so long unopened that our torches, half smothered in its oppressive atmosphere, gave us little opportunity for investigation, was small, damp, and entirely without means of admission for light. Lying at great depth immediately beneath that portion of the building in which was my own sleeping apartment. Okay, so place where they're laying her body to rest is right below our narrator's bedroom, and it's so dark they can't see anything, and it's really creepy feeling, I think, what they're suggesting. It had been used apparently in remote feudal times for the worst purposes of a dungeon keep, and in later days as a place of deposit for powder or some other highly combustible substance, as a portion of its floor and the whole interior of a long archway through which we reached it were carefully sheathed with copper. The door of massive iron had been also similarly protected. Its immense weight caused an unusually sharp grating sound as it moved upon its hinges. Man, if I had a nickel for every time Edgar Allan Poe wrote about having a dead thing under your floor, I'd have 2 nickels. Get to the other one later. Having deposited our mournful burden upon trestles within this region of horror, we partially turned aside the yet unscrewed lid of the coffin and looked upon the face of the tenant. A striking similitude between the brother and sister now first arrested my attention. An usher, divining perhaps my thoughts, murmured out some few words from which I learned that the deceased and himself had been twins, and that the sympathies of a scarcely intelligible nature had always existed between them. Our glances, however, rested not long upon the dead, for we could not regard her unawed. The disease, which had thus entombed the lady in the maturity of youth, had left us, as all usual in the maladies of a strictly cataleptical character, the mockery of a faint blush upon the bosom of the face, and the suspiciously lingering smile upon the lip which is so terrible in death. We replaced and screwed down the lid, and having secured the door of iron, made our way with toil into the scarcely less gloomy apartments of the upper portion of the house. So I think it's saying she looked really old, or perhaps opposite, she looked really young. Entomb the lady in the maturity of youth. Okay, so she was really young. And it's odd because it looks like she's still alive. She has like blush upon her face and all that. See, you can tell I've been reading because I just said upon. Oh yeah, there's a corpse under your bedroom? Yeah, makes sense. And now, some days of bitter grief having elapsed, an observable change came over the features of the mental disorder of my friend. His ordinary manner had vanished. His ordinary occupations were neglected or forgotten. He roamed from chamber to chamber with hurried, unequal, and objectless step. The pallor of his countenance had assumed, if possible, a more ghastly hue, but the luminousness of his eye had utterly gone out. The once occasional huskiness of his tone was heard no more, and a tremulous quaver, as if of extreme terror, habitually characterized his utterance. Okay, so his voice quivers. It's a long way to say his voice quivers. It's approved by the god of root beer. Thank gosh. Oh my gosh, it's been quite a minute since I've been approved by Mr. Root Beer God. I'm really happy that I did not anger him. There were times indeed which I thought his unceasingly agitated mind was laboring with some oppressive secret to divulge which he struggled for the necessary courage. At times again, I was obliged to resolve all into the mere inexplicable vagaries of madness, where I beheld him gazing upon vacancy for long hours, in an attitude of the profoundest attention, as if listening to some imaginary sound. It was no wonder that his condition terrified, that it infected me. I felt it creeping upon me, by slow yet certain degrees, in the wild influences of his own fantastic yet impressive superstitions. Okay, so Mr. Usher is going crazy. And Mr. Narrator is he's feeling it. He's feeling the craziness radiating, and it's starting to affect him as well. That's what it sounds like. It was especially upon retiring to bed late in the night of the 7th or 8th day after the placing of the Lady Madeline within the dungeon that I experienced the full power of such feelings. Sleep came not near my couch. While the hours waned and waned away, I struggled to reason off the nervousness which had dominion over me. I endeavored to believe that much, if not all, of what I felt was due to the bewildering influence of the gloomy furniture of the room. The dark and tattered draperies, which tortured into motion by the breath of a rising tempest, swayed fitfully to and fro upon the walls and rested uneasily about the decorations of the bed. Okay, so the wind's like smacking the tapestries around. He's like, oh, can't sleep. But my efforts were fruitless. An irrepressible tremor gradually pervaded my frame, and at length there sat upon my very heart an incubus of utterly causeless alarm. Shaking this off with a gasp and a struggle, I uplifted myself upon the pillows, and peering earnestly within the intense darkness of the chamber, hearkened. I know not why, except that an instinctive spirit prompted me. To certain low and indefinite sounds which came through the pauses of the storm. Okay, so it was the storm outside, not wind. At long intervals, I knew not whence. Overpowered by an intense sentiment of horror, unaccountable yet unendurable, threw on my clothes with haste, for I felt that I should sleep no more during the night, and endeavored to arouse myself from the pitiable condition into which I had fallen by pacing rapidly to and fro throughout the apartment. Okay, so something happened. He's really scared. Gonna go pace, calm himself down. I had taken but few turns in this manner when a light step on an adjoining staircase arrested my attention. I presently recognized it as that of Usher. In an instant afterward he rapped, with a gentle touch, at my door and entered, bearing a lamp. His countenance was, as usual, cadaverously wan, but moreover, there was a species of mad hilarity in his eyes, and evidently restrained hysteria in his whole demeanor. His air appalled me. Anything was preferable to the solitude which I had so long endured, and I even welcomed his presence as a relief. "And have you not seen it?" he said abruptly, after having stared about him for some moments in silence. "You've not seen it, but stay, you shall." Thus speaking, and having carefully shaded his lamp, he hurried to one of the casements and threw it freely open to the storm. The impetuous fury of the entering gusts nearly lifted us from our feet. A bad storm. It was indeed a tempestuous yet sternly beautiful night, and one wildly singular in its terror and its beauty. A whirlwind had apparently collected its force in our vicinity, for there were frequent and violent alterations in the direction of the wind, and the exceeding density of the clouds, which hung so low as to press upon the turrets of the house, did not prevent our perceiving the lifelike velocity with which they flew, careering from all points against each other, without passing away into the distance. So the wind is acting very strange, is what I'm gathering. I say that even their exceeding density did not prevent our perceiving this. Yet we had no glimpse of the moon or stars, nor was there any flashing forth of the lightning. But under surfaces of huge masses of agitated vapor, as well as all terrestrial objects immediately round us, were glowing in the unnatural light of a faintly luminous and distinctly visible gaseous exhalation which hung about and enshrouded the mansion. Okay, so things are being lit up right now outside, and the moon's not even out, so it's really creepy. Like, that's not supposed to be happening. You must not. You shall not behold this, said I, shudderingly to Usher, as I led him with the gentle violence from the window to a seat. These appearances which bewilder you are merely electrical phenomena not uncommon, or it may be that they have had their ghastly origin in the rank miasma of the tarn. Let us close this casement. The air is chilling and dangerous to your frame. Here is one of your favorite romances. I will read, and you should listen, and so we will pass away this terrible night together. The antique volume which I had taken up as the Mad Tryst of Sir Lancelot Canning, but I had called it a favorite of Usher's more in sad jest than in earnest, for, in truth, there is little in its uncouth and unimaginative prolixity which could have interest for the lofty and spiritual identity of my friend. It was, however, the only book immediately at hand, and I indulged a vague hope that the excitement which now agitated the hypochondriac might find relief. For the history of mental disorder is full of similar anomalies, even in the extremeness of the folly which I should read. Could I have judged, indeed, by the wild, overstrained air of a vast... I get this. Vivacity... Vivacity... I guess I've never had to read that word out loud. I know... Like vivacious. Vivacity. Sorry. Get hung up on one word. With which he hearkened, or apparently hearkened, to the words of the tale, I might well have congratulated myself upon the success of my design. Okay, so he liked the book. That's a good thing. He picked a good book to calm Mr. Usher down, because Mr. Usher is having an episode and the storm outside's not helping. Had to stretch. I had arrived at the well-known portion of the story where Ethelred, the hero of the tryst, having sought in vain for the peaceable admission into the dwelling of the hermit, proceeds to make good an entrance by force. Okay, so the guy in the story is breaking in the house. Here it will be remembered, the words of the narrative ran thus. Okay, so this is the book he's reading. And Ethelred, who is by nature of doughty heart, and who was now mighty withal, on account of the powerfulness of the wine which he had drunken, waited no longer to hold parley with the hermit, who, in sooth, was of an obstinate and maliceful turn, but feeling the rain upon his shoulders, and fearing the rising of the tempest, uplifted his mace outright, and with blows made quickly room in the plankings of the door for his gauntleted hand, and now pulling therewith sturdily, he so cracked and ripped and tore all asunder, that the noise of the dry and hollow-sounding wood alarummed and reverberated throughout the forest. Okay, so he broke into this guy's house really violently, because he's drunk. And it started to rain, and he went in this guy's house. At the termination of the sentence, I started, and for a moment paused, for it appeared to me, although I at once concluded that my excited fancy had deceived me, it appeared to me that, from some very remote portion of the mansion, there came indistinctly to my ears what might have been, in its exact similarity of character, the echo, but a stifled and dulled one certainly, of the very cracking and ripping sound which Sir Lancelot it's so particularly described. So he hears the noise of the house being broken into the mansion. It was beyond doubt the coincidence alone which had arrested my attention, where amid the rattling of the sashes of the casements and the ordinary commingled noises of the still increasing storm, the sound in itself had nothing surely which could have interested or disturbed me. I continued the story. The good champion Ethelred, now entering within the door, was sore enraged and amazed to perceive no signal of the maliceful hermit, but in the stead thereof a dragon, with scaly and prodigious demeanour, and of a fiery tongue, which sate in guard before a palace of gold, with a floor of silver, and upon the wall there hung a shield of shining brass, with this legend enwritten: Who entereth herein, a conqueror hath been. Who slayeth the dragon, the shield he shall win. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, wait, hold on, my phone crashed. Sorry, my face went off because my phone crashed. Why did it do that? Give me 2 seconds. I don't know why I did that, guys. Okay, so he's reading this story, and in the story, the knight broke into the hermit's house really violently, caused a big noise, and turns out that there was actually a dragon inside. There wasn't even a hermit all along, and the legend says whoever kills the dragon can win the shield. Right, and here we are. And Ethelred uplifted his mace and struck upon the head of the dragon, which fell before him, and gave up his pesty breath with a shriek so horrid and harsh, and withal so piercing, that Ethelred had fain to close his ears with his hands against the dreadful noise of it, the like whereof was never before heard. Okay, so the dragon screamed like crazy loud. Here again I paused abruptly, and now with a feeling of wild amazement, for there could be no doubt whatever that in this instance I did actually hear, although from what direction it proceeded I found it impossible to say, a low and apparently distant but harsh, protracted, and most unusual screaming or grating sound, the exact counterpart of what my fancy had already conjured up, the dragon's unnatural shriek, as described by the romancer. Okay, so he hears the dragon scream in real life. Pressed as I certainly was upon the occurrence of this second and most extraordinary coincidence by 1,000 conflicting sensations, in which wonder and extreme terror were predominant, I still retained sufficient presence of mind to avoid exciting by any observation the sensitive nervousness of my companion. So he's not going to freak out because he doesn't want to freak Mr. Usher out. I was by no means certain that he had noticed the sounds in question, although, assuredly, a strange alteration had, during the last few minutes, taken place in his demeanour. From a position fronting my own, he had gradually brought round his chair so as to sit with his face to the door of the chamber, and thus I could but partially perceive his features, although I saw that his lips trembled as if he were murmuring inaudibly. His head had drooped upon his breast, yet I knew that he was not asleep, from the wide and rigid opening of the eye as I caught a glance of it in profile. The motion of his body, too, was at variance with the idea, where he rocked from side to side with a gentle yet constant and uniform sway. Having rapidly taken notice of all this, I resumed the narrative. Trying to mix my words together. I resumed the narrative of Sir Lancelot, which thus proceeded. Okay, you're right. Hold on. Okay. And now the champion, having escaped from the terrible fury of the dragon, bethinking himself of the brazen shield, and of the breaking up of the enchantment which was upon it, removed the carcass from out of the way before him, and approached valorously over the silver pavement of the castle to where the shield was upon the wall, which in sooth tarried not for his full coming, but fell down at his feet upon the silver floor with a mighty, great, and terrible ringing sound. No sooner had these syllables passed my lips than, as if a shield of brass had indeed at the moment fallen heavily upon a floor of silver, I became aware of a distinct, hollow, metallic, and clangorous, yet apparently muffled reverberation. Completely unnerved, I leapt to my feet, but the measured rocking movement of Usher was undisturbed. I rushed to the chair in which he sat. His eyes were bent fixedly before him, and throughout his whole countenance there reigned a stony rigidity. But as I placed my hand upon his shoulder, there came a strong shudder over his whole person. A sickly smile quivered about his lips, and I saw that he spoke in a low, hurried, and gibbering murmur, as if unconscious of my presence. Bending closely over him, I at length drank in the hideous import of his words. Not yet hear it? Yes, I hear it, and have heard it. Long, many minutes, many hours, many days have I heard it, yet I dared not. Oh, pity me, miserable wretch that I am! I dared not speak. We have put her living in the tomb, said I, that my senses were acute. I now tell you that I heard her first feeble movements in the hollow coffin. I heard them many days ago, yet I dared not speak. And now, tonight, Ethelred, the breaking of the hermit's door, and the death cry of the dragon, and the clangor of the shield, say rather that the rending of her coffin, and the grating of the iron hinges of her prison, and her struggles within the coppered archway of the vault. Oh, whither shall I fly? Will she not be here anon? Is she not hurrying to upbraid me for my haste? Have I not heard her footstep on the stair? Do I not distinguish that heavy and horrible beating of her heart? Madman! Here he sprang furiously to his feet and shrieked out his syllables, as if in the effort he were giving up his soul. Madman, I tell you that she now stands without the door. As if in the superhuman energy of his utterance there had been found potency of a spell, the huge antique panels to which the speaker pointed drew slowly back upon the instant their ponderous and ebony jaws. So he's opening the door, or the door is opening. It was the work of the rushing gust, but then, without those doors, there did stand the lofty and enshrouded figure of the Lady Madeline of Usher. There was blood upon her white robes, and the evidence of some bitter struggle upon every portion of her emaciated frame. For a moment, she remained trembling and reeling to and fro upon the threshold. Then, with a low moaning cry, fell heavily inward upon the person of her brother, and in her violent and now final death agonies, bore him to the floor a corpse and a victim to the terrors he had anticipated. Okay, so she walks in, she's covered in blood, and she falls on top of her brother and kills them both. He's in such a feeble state that I guess he just dies from it. And also, he's like, probably died of being terrified. From that chamber and from that mansion, I fled aghast. The storm was still abroad in all its wrath as I found myself crossing the old causeway. Suddenly, there shot along a path a wild light, and I turned to see whence a gleam so unusual could have issued. For the vast house and its shadows alone were behind me. The radiance was that of the full setting and blood-red moon, which now shone vividly through that once barely discernible fissure, of which I have before spoken, as extending from the roof of the building in a zigzag direction to the base. Okay, so there's a bright red light shining from the crack in the side of the house. While I gazed, this fissure rapidly widened. There came a fierce breath of the whirlwind, and the entire orb of the satellite burst at once upon my sight. My brain reeled as I saw the mighty walls rushing asunder, and there was a long, tumultuous shouting sound, like the voice of 1,000 waters. And the deep and dark tarn at my feet closed sullenly and silently over the fragments of the house of Usher. So the house crumbled and like fell into the water. Yeah. What a way to lose your house, right? Lose your sister and your house, and dang. There's no more Usher. Yeah. That one's bit of a hard read. It's not a very long story at all though. That's just sad, yeah. That's Poe for you. I think I will do one of my favorites. Actually, this is my very favorite. It's very basic, but I don't care. Where is it? My very favorite Edgar Allan Poe story. Let's see. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I had it pulled up. I do not. Let me get that pulled up. I'll continue talking for just a minute. There's a couple of good ones. Maybe this is it. Tucked in with Coco. I'm sorry for this. Oh, my throat like made a gargle. It's so weird. That. Oh, here it is. Alright, this one's a poem. Everybody knows this one. Not really. Maybe not. Maybe not. But this is your first exposure to it. Very, very happy to introduce you to The Raven. Alright. Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered, weak and weary, over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore, while I nodded, nearly napping, and suddenly there came a tapping, as of someone gently rapping at my chamber door. "'Tis some visitor," I muttered, tapping at my chamber door. Only this, and nothing more. Ah, distinctly I remember it was in the bleak December, and each separate dying ember wrought its ghost upon the floor. Eagerly I wished the morrow. Vainly I had sought to borrow from my book's surcease of sorrow for the last Lenore, for the rare and radiant maiden whom the angels name Lenore, nameless here forevermore. And the silken, sad, uncertain rustling of each purple curtain thrilled me, filled me with fantastic terrors never felt before, so that now, to still the beating of my heart, I stood repeating, "'Tis some visitor entering my entrance at my chamber door. 'Tis some late visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door. This it is, and nothing more." Presently my soul grew stronger, hesitating, then no longer. "Sir," said I, "or madam, truly your forgiveness I implore, but the fact is I was napping, and so gently you came rapping, and so faintly you came tapping at my chamber door, that I scarce was sure I heard you. Here I opened wide the door, darkness there, and nothing more." Deep into that darkness peering, long I stood there wondering, fearing, doubting, dreaming dreams no mortal ever dared to dream before. But the silence was unbroken, and the darkness gave no token, and the only word there was spoken was the whispered word, "Lenore." This I whispered, and an echo murmured back the word, "Lenore." Merely this, and nothing more. Back into the chamber turning, all my soul within me burning. Soon I heard again a tapping somewhat louder than before. Surely, said I, surely that is something at my window lattice. Let me see then what thereat is, and this mystery explore. Let my heart be still a moment, and this mystery explore. 'Tis the wind, and nothing more. Open here, I flung this shutter, with many a flirt and flutter. In there stepped a stately raven of saintly days of yore. Not the least obeisance made he, not an instant stopped or stayed he, but with mine of lord or lady perched above my chamber door. Perched upon a bust of Pallas, just above my chamber door. Perched and sat, and nothing more. Then this ebony bird, beguiling my sad fancy into smiling, by the grave and stern decorum of the countenance it wore, though thy crest be shorn and shaven, thou, I said, art sure no craven, ghastly, grim, and ancient raven, wandering from the nightly shore. Tell me what thy lordly name is on the night's Plutonian shore. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Much I marveled this ungainly fowl to hear discourse so plainly, though its answer little meaning, little relevancy bore. For we cannot help agreeing that no living human being ever yet was blessed with seeing bird above his chamber door. Bird or beast upon the sculptured bust above his chamber door, with such a name as Nevermore. The raven, sitting lonely on the placid bust, spoke only that one word, as if his soul in that one word he did outpour. Nothing further than he uttered, not a feather than he fluttered, till I scarcely more than muttered, other friends have flown before, on the morrow he will leave me, as my hopes have flown before. Then the bird said, nevermore. Startled at the stillness broken by reply so aptly spoken, doubtless, said I, what it utters is its only stock and store, caught from some unhappy master whom a merciful disaster followed fast and followed faster, till his songs one burden bore, till the dirges of his hope that melancholy burden bore, of never, nevermore. But the raven still beguiling all my sad soul into smiling, straight I wheeled a cushion seat in front of the bird, and bust and door. Then upon the velvet sinking, I betook myself to linking fancy unto fancy, thinking what this ominous bird of yore, what this grim, ungainly, ghastly, gaunt, and ominous bird of yore meant in croaking, nevermore. This I sat engaged in guessing, but no syllable expressing to the fowl, whose fiery eyes now burned into my bosom's core. This and more I sat divining, with my head at ease reclining on the cushion's velvet lining, that lamplight floated o'er, whose something was in my eye, but whose velvet violet lining, with the lamplight gloating o'er, she shall press, nevermore. Then, methought, the air grew denser, perfumed from an unseen censer, swung by angels whose faint footfalls tinkled on the tuffled floor. Wretch, I cried, thy God have lent thee, by these angels he had sent thee, respite, and nepent thee, thy memories of Lenore. Quaff, oh quaff this kind nepenthe, and forget this lost Lenore. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Prophet, said I, thy thing of evil, prophet still, if bird or devil, whether tempter sent or whether tempest tossed thee here ashore, desolate all yet undaunted, on this desert land enchanted, on this home by horror haunted, tell me truly, I implore, is there balm in Gilead? Tell me, I implore. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Prophet, said I, thy thing of evil, prophet still, if bird or devil, by that heaven that bends above us, that by God we both adore, tell this soul with sorrow laden, within the distant Aidenn, It shall clasp a sainted maiden, whom the angels name Lenore. Clasp a rare and radiant maiden, whom the angels name Lenore. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Be that word our sign of parting, bird or fiend, I shrieked, upstarting. Get thee back into Tempest and the night's Plutonian shore. Leave no black tomb as a token of that life thy soul hath spoken. Leave my loneliness unbroken. Quit the bust above my door. Take thy beak from out my heart, and take thy form from off my door. Quoth the raven, nevermore. And the raven, never flitting, still is sitting on the pallid bust of Pallas, just above my chamber door. And his eyes have all the seeming of a demon's that is dreaming, and the lamplight o'er him, streaming, throws his shadow on the floor, and my soul from out that shadow lies floating on the floor, shall be lifted nevermore. Okay, so, let me catch back up. Hi guys, I'm sorry. I missed some stuff while I was reading. It was big words and trying to focus. Big words. My vocabulary is expanding. This is my favorite Edgar Allan Poe poem, and it has a very special meaning to me. But it's like a weird reason, and I can't dive into it. But it's like personal as well. Oh my gosh, Annabelle Lee, this was a good one. It was many and many a year ago, in a kingdom by the sea, that a maiden lived whom you may know by the name of Annabelle Lee. And this maiden she lived with no other thought than to love and be loved by me. I was a child and she was a child in this kingdom by the sea, but we loved with a love that was more than love, I and my Annabelle Lee, with a love that the winged seraphs of heaven coveted her and me. And this was the reason that long ago, in this kingdom by the sea, a wind blew out a cloud by night, chilling my Annabelle Lee, so that her high-born kinsman came and bore her away from me to shut her up in a sepulchre, big word, in this kingdom by the sea. The angels, not half so happy in heaven, went envying her and me. Yes, that was the reason, as all men know, in this kingdom by the sea, that the wind came out of the cloud, chilling and killing my Annabelle Lee. But our love, it was stronger by far than the love of those who were older than we, of many far wiser than we. And neither the angels in the heaven above, nor the demons down under the sea, can ever dissever my soul from the soul of the beautiful Annabelle Lee. For the moon never beams without bringing me dreams of the beautiful Annabelle Lee. Of the stars never rise, but I see the bright eyes of the beautiful Annabelle Lee. And so all the night tide I lay down by the side of my darling, my life and my bride, and her sulphur there by the sea, and her tomb by the side of her sea. So he sleeps in the tomb with her. How do you say that? Sepulcher. I know it means casket. It's like a tomb, like a casket or something. Yeah. He really loves Annabelle Lee, and he when she died, he couldn't part, so he sleeps with her body every night. That's what that one is. I don't know some of these. Remember Annabelle Lee made a project with it? Yeah, we had to read it. Class. These are all... Ooh, El Dorado. Movie. Okay, he has a lot of poems about like Anne, Annie, Annabelle. What was his wife's name? I'm looking it up. Oh, his wife was Virginia. I know it was his cousin. Yeah, he married his first cousin, guys. And she was like 14 or something. But I think what had happened, correct me if I'm wrong, I think what happened is like her parents died or something like that. And he was like, it was like, let me see. Let me read actually. She was 13 and he was 27. Oh, she died. Yeah, no, she died of tuberculosis. He died 2 years after her. She died when she was 24. Okay. I thought it was like her parents had passed away or something. I'm probably thinking of somebody else. It's like there's a few stories like, oh yeah, yeah. Yeah. That's why I love some of his literature, but like as a person he's a kind of bit of a like Lenore. Okay, so he says Lenore, and you know that it's like I think it's supposed to be somebody's name. Oh, another one I was gonna read to you guys was The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, but I think it might be too long. Yeah, look, it's pretty long. Maybe next time, right? It ends here. Yeah, it's a little bit long. By the way, you can get all of this stuff at gutenberg.org. Gutenberg.org. It's a free resource for books and also textbooks. They have a lot of textbooks on there. Streaming at night or day, it depends. It really does. I don't know yet. It will change also because I'm not in classes right now. I don't have classes yet. Honestly, maybe both. It depends. On weekdays, I might do both for the moment, for like this week. And yeah, my schedule's gonna be a little bit inconsistent until I get back in classes and I get like a routine going on. You know what I mean? I'm gonna look at just wanna see. They have like a poems. Poetry. Yeah. Big. Oh my gosh, Beowulf. You guys ever read Beowulf in school? Actually, it was kind of good. Sir Gawain and the Green Knight, read that one too. It's they're all like Middle English or like older, not Old English, just like Anglo-Saxon English, older English. Gawain and the Green Knight is oh my gosh, is Middle English though. Berserk to me. Is that like, is Beowulf and stuff in Berserk? Am I missing out? The Odyssey's on here, the Iliad. No, it's a manga. Yeah, I know it's a manga. I know that much. Don't read it. I know people who really like it. I'm not into reading manga, and I don't know. I have a very specific taste. Okay, we're on an ad break, so I'll just yap. Let me go back to my normal. I'll go back to normal. I'm just gonna scroll through stuff and maybe look at something for next time. Read almost any literature I'm interested in. Yeah. I don't know. I only like I have a very specific taste. I don't know. I like historical fiction, and I like gothic literature. Especially if it's like spooky. It's spooky and it's supernatural, maybe, I guess. Or like Frankenstein, like kind of like sci-fi. Like Dracula, guys, I stand by this. Dracula is my favorite book I've ever read. One of the favorites. Recommendations? If you wanna give gothic literature a try, I'd say Dracula. Some other good books I've read. Well, if you're into young adult literature, I really enjoyed. There's this book called A Thousand Splendid Suns. It's about some young women in Taliban Afghanistan, and it's about their journey, and it's really emotional. I cried like 5 billion times. What else? That's another really that's one of the top on my list, and that's not like a typical book I would read, but it's a top on my list, seriously. What else? I'm trying to think. I've read like a bajillion books in my lifetime, but I can't think of any. Of course, when I need to. I don't know. Yeah, I really did. I like Dracula. It's free online. If you guys, if you have Amazon Prime and you download the Kindle app, you can get like 1 million free books. It's 1,000 Splendid Suns. Yeah, let me type it out. It's also the guy who wrote that book also wrote The Kite Runner, which is a more popular book, but yeah. It's I haven't read The Kite Runner, so I can't tell you, but I don't know, everybody says it's really good. But yeah, it's like young adult literature, but it's honestly it's like really good. I liked it. It was really emotional. I promise I read. I think I'm sleepy and I can't think of anything. Sleepy and I can't think of books. Books don't exist. Yeah. I really liked, okay, call me crazy. I really liked The Great Gatsby. I thought it was a good book. I thought The Great Gatsby was a good book, guys. I'm sorry. I know everybody else hated it. Everybody else who read it, like, we had to read it in school, right? Everybody else hated it. Oh my gosh, I love To Kill a Mockingbird. That was another good one we read. And also, Lord of the Flies. That was good. Oh my gosh, To Kill a Mockingbird was really, it was emotional. It was really good. I really enjoyed that book, really. I didn't think of what else. Oh my gosh, I used to be really into like books like Percy Jackson and Harry Potter and stuff like that. It's all that ever comes to mind. Miss most of the books because of a teacher strike. Oh man, if you can get them for like free or cheap or whatever, I'd suggest that. I mean, why not? It's really good. Honestly, I'm gonna be so for real. With The Great Gatsby, if you want, you could just watch the movie. It's not... Okay, there are some scenes in the book that are really, like... You need to read them to understand the, like, I guess, I don't know, like, the significance of it, if that makes sense. But, the movie isn't too terrible. The one they just kind of... It was pretty recent. Lana Del Rey actually did some of the songs on it. That's... Yeah. I don't know, it was pretty good. Hi! I know there's another adaptation of it. I'm just trying to think. It's got, the newer one, it's got Leonardo DiCaprio in it. Good. That was pretty good. Some other books. Oh, when I was younger, I really enjoyed, oh, what was that book? What was the name? It's not Madeline. I don't know why I keep wanting to say Madeline. It starts with an M. It was about the girl, and she was kind of... She had, like, powers. And like she grew up really poor, and then her teacher was Miss Honey. They just made like a new movie of it. Matilda, that's what it is. They just remade the movie. I've not watched it. I haven't watched the new movie. It was a really good book when I was a kid. It's like 600 pages though. If I remember, it was probably like 300. Meredith. You were just trying to figure it out. It's okay. I knew it was an M name. Matilda, or no, Madeline. It's the one about the little girls, and Madeline's the littlest of the little girls. It's a good one. It's a good kids book. Actually, they made a movie. They made a couple of Madeline movies. There was I think there was like a live action one that I used to watch. Oh my gosh, and it always made me cry. I knew the storyline, it just made me cry. I don't know why. And then there was like the cartoonish movie, which was just a classic. Oh, sorry. It's just like, it was like classic though. I don't know. um, Sorry, I'm like checking something. I got distracted. Was this a song? Yeah, I think that was it 12 little girls walk in 2 straight lines, and the littlest of these is Madeline. Something like that. It's something similar to that. I don't know. Maybe am I crazy? Am I crazy? Maybe I'm crazy. Yeah, I should get some. Hold on. I should get some water because my throat kind of hurts. Hold on. Alright, let me stretch. Let's turn the music up just a little bit more. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Let me stretch real quick. Yeah. Okay, well, let me run something by you guys real quick. So, since I hit 500, I know I discussed this in the Discord, but I was thinking maybe I play Minecraft until I beat it. Like one stream. Or, you know, if it takes me too long, I'll break it up into 2 streams to, save my sanity. 2 or 3. But, like, just playing like a survival world until I beat it. In celebration of 500. But I don't know. Maybe it's be fun. It'll be very tough. I feel like it's worth the challenge. I won't do it tomorrow. I might do it the next day or so though. I'll make like advertisement for it before it happens. You know what I mean? Sorry, my throat keeps like gargling. You know what I don't. It's so weird. Gonna mentally prepare for it. Too distracted building a house. Listen, character customization and stuff. It just gets me. Like in house building, I don't know. It just really gets me, guys. I don't know. Okay. Sorry, I was checking something. I was hearing myself like twice and I could not figure out why. It was my stream manager. I would get too distracted building a house. Maybe like I'll bust it up. Or I also... Okay, well actually never mind. I was about to say I need to finish playing Skyrim. But I actually... Guys, I left my capture card at my house. So I don't have a way of playing my Switch. So can't do that. But whatever. It's okay. It's okay. Alright, fellas. You know what time it is. You know what time. Yeah. I oh, I rated this person before. Um, and they were very sweet. So be nice and be good. And I hope you all have a very lovely night. It's okay if you have to raid and run, I'm sure. Obviously, it's very late for me. Not sure. Probably late for at least a couple of you. So take care of yourselves. Go get some water or whatever. Go read some more poems if you want. I did not realize how late it was because I guess I was too focused on reading instead of getting sleepy. So I'm like kind of sleepy, but I'm not like super. I figured I would fall asleep immediately, but I'm about to go sleep now. Yeah, I actually like having my head scratched. I'm a physical touch person. Like a dog. Okay. Hey guys. Be good. Have a good night. Good morning, good evening, whatever. Bye guys.